Do you have a beautiful park, but you just can't be asked with the terraforming because you're not good at it? My name is Book Ross and I'm going to show you a 4-step guide on how to master terraforming in Planet Code. Way a lifeguard runs to the water to save a little girl from drowning. It's me, Book Ross. I've come to you to save you and prevent you from making garbage landscapes and crappy mountains. Today I'm going to teach you a 4-step progress that you can apply in any park, in any scenario, with any environment, to make you the perfect and ultimate landscape. This is the 4-step masterclass to Planet Coaster Terraforming. Step 1. Basic terrain layout. Now the first step of this process is keeping it basic. We're just laying out the basic shape of the terrain. Now you can apply this in any park. In this case, I'm wanting to surround this square by mountains. Now for the first step, you're going to want to use a big tool, just nice and big. Just like that. Bring up the mountains, erect them from the ground. All you do is just creating the basic shapes. Now, if you're wanting some mountains, you're gonna hold your left mouse button and it will erect straight from the ground. Just like that. Now in this case, I want a path leading up to the middle of the mountain range. Now, I was wondering, how am I going to do this? You just create a little gap, just like that. And then you polish it out, and then you start placing the pathing and let it go, flow right over the mountains. And you just let it naturally flow to the middle, just like that. Yes. Yes. Just like that. Now once you're done with the really big shape, you can reduce it to half, about 15 size. Now you can give the mountain a little bit more features. Just not too much, just enough. Just how you see it right here. Just brush it down, just like that. Yes. Now if you're wanting to create a body of water, step 1 would be the time to do so. So use your brush and just dig in some of the areas where you want water. In this case, I want to create some water surrounding my square in the middle. Maybe a cave, just like that. You just dig it in. Now after step 1 of this masterclass, your landscape should look something like this. Very ugly, yet oddly satisfying. Let's continue to step 2 and give this landscape a little bit more detail. Step 2. Accentuation. Now step 2 is all about accentuating your terrain. So you're going to want to use a brush between size 3 to 5, and then you're going to create the features that you want in your terrain. Like, I want some rocky cliffs, so this is what I'm doing right here now. I'm creating vertical lines, dragging them down from top to bottom, creating these more rockier looking surfaces, as you can see. Now while in step 1 we created the general shape of the mountains, step 2 is the time to make the sharp edges and sharp tops and make it look not so rounded. As you can see, I'm using a little tiny diameter brush and I'm creating these sharp corners. As you can see, after spending some time sharpening some of the corners and accentuating the mountains, you can see the difference between left and right. Left has done step 2, right has only done step 1. Any accentuations that just stand out a little bit too much, you just get the smooth out tool like so, and you just smooth out some of the sharp corners. It will make it look so much better. Now let's continue accentuating the rest of the mountain. Now a technique that I found very useful is doing small strokes using the brush just downwards. Just a small brush, small strokes, just like that. Just like that. And then it makes it look very, very nice. Now after accentuation, your terrain will look something like this. You are now ready for the next step of the accentuation, and that is using paint. Now you're going to want to use the rough rock and cover anything that is normal rock, as you can see here, with rough rock. This will make the surfaces look much better. So don't cover the grass bits, just the rock, just like that. Once you're done with the painting, the accentuation phase is finished. You're now ready to continue to step 3. Step 3. Rock it. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is find a rock that fits with your terrain. If you have snowy terrain, you might want to use white looking rocks, snowy rocks. Or if you have western terrain, use some brighter orange rocks. In this case, we're going for a little bit of a tropical vibe. So we wanted to use something that blends in with the terrain properly. As you can see, the tropical rock as well as the forest rock, they work quite well. So these are the ones we're going to use. Now you're going to want to place down a couple variants of rock, as you can see. These you can use, and so that it doesn't look as repetitive. Now once you've placed down the rocks of your choice, you go for the biggest rock first. And then all you're going to do along your map, in every single bit of terrain, is you're going to sink in this big rock in different angles and just make sure that it blends in with the terrain, like this. Make sure that the rock doesn't poke out on itself, otherwise it will look quite unnatural. Just sink the rocks in, just like that. Look how it sinks in. Once you're done with the biggest rock, you're gonna move to the medium rock, and you're gonna sink them all in just like the big one. And last but not least, you're gonna do the same thing for the smallest rock. Now once you've placed the last rock, just like that, you're all ready and set for phase 4. Just deleting these ones, cause I wasn't sure if they would fit well. I'm just gonna stick with one color rock. You are now ready for the last and final step, step 4. Step 4, decorating. Now the first thing I wanted to do was placing down my centerpiece, and in this case that would be my temple, Angkor Wat. Now if you're going to want to know what this is all about, you're gonna have to stick around. The next episode will be about this. Angkor Wat, a dueling wild mouse coaster with loopings. How about that? Well, the next thing you're going to want to do is make a selection of trees and bushes that you're wanting to use and fit well with your centerpiece. I've picked these trees and bushes, so I'm going to surround my creation with my trees and bushes. Now you're going to pick your first tree, and you're gonna have to make sure that align to surface is turned off, otherwise it's gonna take funny angles. Now it stays up straight. You're just gonna place some trees down around your area. Now as you can see, it's starting to look really awesome already. The next thing you're going to want to do is to create a little bit more realism. You can use the paint and paint some leaves on the floor. This will make it more realistic as well as give a better atmosphere. It's just that little extra touch, just like that. Now once you're done with the trees, you can start placing down some bushes. Some different types of trees. Now I personally also wanted to sink in some bushes in the hills. Just underneath the rocks, on the little grassy bits. You can fit them any way you like. Just sink them in the terrain. And then last but not least, some other types of bushes. These are more the drier ones, they go on higher altitudes. You can also sink these in the terrain. That makes it look more natural, like there's roots and grassy bits and galls coming from the sides. And just like that, you're all finished. You're ready to go. Your terrain will look amazing. Let's have a look at the result. Art and paintings are the most beautiful thing in the world, but not only on a canvas, also in this beautiful game. Thank you all, my name is Book Ross, and I'll see you next time. Just like that.